Right there, everyone. So, today I have the host of the Nothing But Bricks podcast. He doesn't take the piss, he doesn't take the mick. His podcasts with Mind Game and King John Brick were absolutely sick. If you get the gist, it's the one, the only, the Meh Enthusiast.
Thanks for having me on.
No problem, bro. So, first and foremost, what got you into stop motion and podcasting and Lego brick films? Well, just talking about Lego in general and all that jazz.
Um, well, like Lego and stuff, I've just always been interested in, and so yeah, it's just kind of been whenever I'd go to like a toy shop when I was small, I'd always like try and get Lego, just because it was fun to like get the different characters and stuff. For stop motion, it was Forest Fire 101, I'd say, because when I was there's like a thing in Ireland called the Late Late Toy Show that I used to watch when I was like really small, and then till now. So it's basically like it's like a thing called the Late Late Show in Ireland. That's basically like an Irish version of the American ones, the talk shows. But for one night out of the year, they have like a toy show version, like for kids, where they interview kids and then ask them what they think about like the toys coming out this year for Christmas and stuff. One of the years we were going to watch it because it's kind of like a yearly tradition that we used to do, but the TV wasn't working, so we watched Forest Fire's videos instead. My mom wasn't happy about it. I'm sure about it.
Because they actually mentioned this on the World of Brick Films podcast, how people used to get really angry at Forest Fire's brick films for having loads of swearing in, and like that kids would be Lego's meant to be a kids thing, and this stop motion's having loads of swearing in, and they were like pissed off. So which ones were you watching then? Were they really like loads and loads and loads of swearing, or just bits here and there? Or
it was more so like the subtle kind of jokes that would have gone over my head at that stage.
oh,
Yeah.
so
But, yeah, my mom was kind of concerned. She was like, "Where are you getting this from?"
did your parents let you watch it in the end, or were they still annoyed?
My mom let us watch it in the end because watched the toy show that year. We just watched like tons of his videos.
What year was this then?
Probably like 2012 or something.
2012. So he'd upped his brick film game a bit by then. So there would have been a few decent ones that would have come out. Like I'm pretty sure the first Captain America one was out by then, wasn't it? In 2012. But I'm guessing you just watched the Batman ones.
Yeah, it was all the Batman videos. Yeah. Well, I know that we watched. I don't know if it was 2012, but I know that we watched the Justice League video he did.
I think that was 2014, wasn't it? With when Joker gets the crap beaten out of him.
Oh, right then. Yeah, it was probably 2014.
Yeah. So he had even more sick videos coming out, because obviously, I remember I said it on your podcast how he just upped his game all of a sudden after that Indiana Jones DNA results video, I think it was called. He suddenly just upped his game with the Harry Potter trailer, and then the Harry Potter video, and then the Captain America one, then Batman one, and like he did a Dark Knight Coffee one, I think, and all that. I think he did the Ridiculous Cave one was before that, I think, and then he did Justice League and the Hobbit, Lego Hobbit, all that jazz, all that cool stuff.
Yeah, and I think it's really cool. Like, I'm really excited to see what he does because he was saying on the World of Brick Films podcast that he's at the stage where just like because of his skill level, he can make whatever he wants to make. Like whatever image he has in his head, he can bring that to life. So it should be cool to see what he does in the future.
Definitely. I mean, he's doing something for ERB. Because I'm pretty sure he only did one thing for Epic Rap Battles, the Thor versus Zeus. That was really, really awesome. and he did a video. He did a music video for Your Favourite Martian, like Ray William Johnson's band, and that was pretty like smooth and solid animation. So, did you ever watch that or?
Sorry, you cut out a bit there.
Oh, he did something for Ray William Johnson's band back in the day. He animated a song they did in Lego, and he did something for ERB, Zeus versus Thor. He filmed all that in Lego stop motion. So he's doing something else for ERB, he said, and he's got a Mandalorian brick film coming on, and obviously Ray versus Kylo, and which is going to be like a 10-minute epic. I'm pretty sure he said, and for those of you who don't know, like obviously 10 minutes isn't an epic film, but for a brick film of his caliber, of his level, it is definitely an epic. Because like 10 minutes of just pure brilliance on pretty much a shoestring budget, really. There isn't any massive producers putting millions into his brick films, so I'd still class them as shoestring budgets. And he, what else has he got? I think he's written a Batman film with Jonathan Aubrey, and he's going to do that as well. So it's cool how he's got a lot of things planned, you know, like he's thinking well ahead.
Yeah, I found that since I got back into it, like back this time last year, I've kind of been doing the same thing, like thinking, I have this idea for a project thing, and then this idea and this idea. But yeah, so I'm like constantly being away at different like works and things, trying to you know, which one to do. So it's a lot of fun to have different projects like planned out.
Yeah, makes sense. Out of interest, do you plan to like in years to come like make your brick films insanely high level, like Keshan or Forest or Mind Game or On Beat Man or Sean Willits, or are you just going to try and see what happens and keep them at a decent level? Or
yeah, well, I've noticed lately that like I don't know if this is narcissistic, but I've found that I'm improving with every video that I make, which is what I'm the only thing that I've kind of for going back into it. So yeah, as long as I'm improving with each video, I'm happy. But hopefully, I can make near the level of Forest Fire and stuff when I'm older.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say it's narcissistic at all, as long as you've got the evidence to back it up. As long as you can say, well, there's a way more variety of shots in this. There's way more editing in this. There's a better story. The brick film's longer, etc., etc. As long as you can back it up, it's all good in the neighbourhood.
All right, cool.
So, but I think I have like complained a bit about people with massive egos in the past, and I've said how humble the brick filming community is. But I think it's healthy to big yourself up a little bit, as long as you can back it up, and as long as you're not like a lunatic with it. You know.
Yeah. A healthy ego in a way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, we all, you know, I'm pretty sure everyone has had a massive ego at one point and has just gone a bit mad with stuff, and I'm pretty sure everyone has felt like not that confident in themselves at some point. Not everyone, but quite a few people. And it's fine to make these mistakes, but as long as you realise, you know, that thing is with everything in life, there's always going to be someone better, you know. There's only usually one person who's like the best ever at something, and even then you can make arguments for other people. So it's a pretty, I just feel like the term the best ever is a little bit of an illusion, really. Because I've asked some people in the brick filming community, who do you think's the best brick film ever? Oh, Mind Game's pretty amazing. Look at how cinematic his stuff is, and it's original. Oh, what about Forest? Oh no, I don't like all this. I prefer original stuff. I don't like stuff about existing material. But then you've got people saying, oh, look at how many amazing things he's done, blah blah. You know, so it's just very. But I think it's healthy to have different opinions and not everyone, you know, agreeing on everything. If everyone said Forest was the best ever, it'd be boring. You know.
Yeah, it's great to see like different people have different thoughts on like what a good brick film is, because then that kind of opens up more opportunities to do like what you're passionate about put it into a brick film, and then see still get a mostly positive response. Because people would like different things. Also, the the thing that you were mentioning there about like comparing different people, made me like think back to. I think it was 2016 when I was starting out, and I was thinking like I have to get like the best equipment and stuff because that's what this person uses and stuff. Lately I've realized that comparing myself to other people is not healthy. So
Yeah.
I should probably. And then once I stopped doing that, I was able to focus on like how the animation looked and stuff, and then that's when I really started to actually enjoy it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's fair, really, because the problem is if people just focus on, like, getting the best stuff ever and they don't have a story or they don't know how to animate things that well and they don't know, they don't know what FPS they want to shoot at, etc., etc., the whole film, the whole brick film, will just end up being a shambles. And especially if you don't have a passion for it, and you're just doing it to gain clout, it's like, it'll just end up being a massive shambles. But enjoying it is part of the process. I mean, I don't mean to babble on about Forrest still, but I remember on his Just for Clicks podcast, this dude came in, or this, it was a dude, sorry, and he said, "Oh, Forrest, I'm struggling a lot mentally and all this stuff." And then Forrest was like, "Well," Forrest gave his advice. It's too much to go into the specifics and everything that Forrest said as advice, but he said he really loves the work he does, and he really because he gets so caught up in his work if he is mentally stressed one day. He might get so caught up in his work that he forgets about it all because he enjoys it so much. And another thing that I really liked hearing once is that he said on the World of Brick Films podcast, he was like, I want to do brick films for the rest of my life. And I think that's awesome because some people either like obviously if you don't want to do brick films all your life, it's fine. But like, I love how he wants to be the Martin Scorsese brick filming, but other brick filmers are like, oh, I want to do all this other stuff. I want to do this, that, this, the other. And that's absolutely fine. You can do what you want. You don't owe anyone anything. But I like how Forrest just wants to focus on that and he's got such a passion for it. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, because it really shows in like the Batman video he put out, I think it was a year ago, but the fact that he has that much of a passion for it still is really great because he'll still want to making them, as you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, he's been doing that series forever. But talking a Lego like brick film series, are there any that stand out to you that you like watching, or do you just prefer like watching video, like not brick film series?
I don't really know, to be honest. Like, might have watched. I watched Forest Fire's Batman stuff before through the years. But not really sure if there are any other like, series that I would have watched. But yeah, there are definitely like some standalone films that I would still remember.
Like that that samurai one that you sent me.
Oh yeah, the Fukushu one.
Are there many others that stand out to you?
Two Headbounds anyway. Batman's Building Brawl.
Oh yeah.
Actually, I saw that video. I was like, I should make something of this length myself, and I made my 6-minute video.
Yeah. Do you reckon you?
And I actually. Oh, sorry.
Oh no! Continue, man.
I messaged him saying like, if it wasn't for your video, I wouldn't have made my own kind of thing. And watched it and told me what he thought about it. And I thought that was really cool to see.
Yeah, I mean, he really interacts with his fans, which is quite cool. A lot of people, I mean, even people on 10k, as I say, 10k subs, they might not even bother responding to people. But it's cool how, and I don't mind, obviously, because once you do get to 100k, or even 90k, it is quite hard to respond to people. But it's cool how he responds to as many people as he can, and he gives feedback. I mean, on his Twitch streams, he he like watches people's brick films, and honestly, I'm not trying to be horrible to people, but some of the brick films were just. I mean, have you watched any of his streams?
Yeah, I watched some of them, but I didn't catch the bits where he was watching people's videos.
Okay, well, there was some that were just so choppy, man, and it's unreal. Like, I don't mean to have a go at people, but it was a really, really bad brick film. There was some cool practical animations on there that they did that I can remember from one of them, but it was just so choppy, and I was thinking to myself, man, you can just get stop motion app on your phone or on your iPad. I mean, I know not everyone has. I wonder, is the stop motion apps on like Android as well as smartphones, or?
I think there might be like one for Apple anyway, like iOS. There's the Lego stop motion one that I started on, and then yeah, for Android there's like just the stop motion app that I think a lot of brick filmers use if they don't have cameras, which is
Yeah. Well, the thing is, on that app, you can like set it to however many frames a second you want. So I don't see how it can be that choppy, but maybe they just like doing stuff on their laptop and they have some really old software that doesn't work that well. I mean, Edbound was really easy on the do, which is how you've got to be, especially with your fans. You can't be ripping into people because, I don't know, there might not be, there might be like, I don't know, 11 or 12 and might not know what they're doing. They might just not be good at brick films in general, and they might not. I don't know. The point is, they might have a long way to go, and if you're nice with the improvements, they'll probably take it in. If you're not nice, they might be like, "Oh, I don't want to do brick filming anymore. This person I'm a fan of has just shot me down." And I know I'm crapping on this person's brick film, but I'm not mentioning what it's called or anything. And I did compliment it for having cool practical animation effects on some parts. So. But I was going to say, what software do you use out of interest, or are you using the app on your phone?
For shooting, well, for shooting though, I use Digicam Control, which is actually what Edbound used to use, and then I came across it through one of his videos and thought, oh, that would be a very handy thing to use, because it's basically like a free remote control that you can use your computer for. Like you can make your computer into the remote control for your DSLR camera, which is also free. So like before that, I would have wanted to try and spend money on like a remote control that you can plug into the camera itself. So it's very useful information, and I've been using it since January. But for editing, I'd use I know a lot of people are probably gonna be mad at me for this, but for putting the actual like images into all together, I'd use Windows Movie Maker, because I use Premiere Pro for like finishing touches and the green screens, but for putting the frames together frame by frame, it's a lot better at that than Premiere Pro.
Doesn't the Digicam app let you put the pictures together or not?
I don't think so. I think that's drag and
Oh, okay.
frame that do that.
Fair enough.
So the Digicam thing is still very useful though. I found one drawback from it though is that the Dragon frame you can hear the audio with the animation as you go kind of thing. But with Digicam, it doesn't let you do that. Like it's just a thing for taking pictures.
That is a bit annoying for people.
So that's why in some of my videos it's just like a person standing still while they're talking, or like replayed animation.
That is gutting. Hopefully you can find a way to work around it one day. What software would, say if you had like £2,000 dumped on you, what would you what software would you get and camera?
I'd probably get Dragon Frame, to be honest, because like it's almost made for stop motion.
Yeah.
That probably is, and I just sound stupid saying that, but yeah, I'd go for Dragon Frame, and then for like a lens, I'd probably stick with the camera that I have because I really like using it. But for an actual lens, I use a zoom lens at the moment, but I'm hoping to get a prime lens eventually. So I'd probably get a prime lens.
Oh, cool. Fair play. So next thing we're going to talk about is a bit of a serious thing, but you have like, I can't pronounce the actual illness that well, but it's basically a tiredness problem, and I was just, the floor is yours, bro. Are you alright to go into it and talk about the tiredness problem and all that?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right then, bro. So the
so,
floor is yours.
yeah, it's called myalgic encephalomyelitis. I actually don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. I just remember how to spell it, so I just kind of pronounced it, like sounded it out before. Or ME for short, like M.E. It's basically like after doing a physical or like mental task, like walking to the shop or studying or something, like your body would be too physically exhausted to do anything else. So I found an article someone wrote who had like a similar thing. I think it was like lupus or something, but they're saying like it's like you have a certain amount of spoons you can spend each day, but everyone else has like unlimited spoons. With this, you have like a certain amount of spoons. Like if you go to the shop, you spend like 5 of your 10 spoons.
Ooh.
If you want to have a shower, it's like 4 spoons. It's pretty cool. A pretty cool way of explaining it. But yeah, so it's kind of like an unpredictable thing for like when the symptoms would happen. But it's also like dizziness could happen, or shortness of breath, different like random things. But there's so little research done like on the illness that no one really knows like what symptoms, how many symptoms there are from it. But there are a lot of people on Twitter that would love it and be able to talk about it. So I found that helpful. The doctor that I go to about it knows nothing about it, so he's not very helpful.
Oh, that is gutting, man. That is just really gutting. But I guess as it's such, how many people have it then in so many people? Is it like 1 in 100 or 1 in 1,000 or?
I'm not sure, but I know there's over 1 million people with it worldwide.
Worldwide? Oh. That's not really many compared to the 6 billion. Well, or is there 7 billion in the world now?
Yeah, 7 billion.
Well, 1 million out of 7 billion people, that ain't much, so it's probably 1 in so many, I guess, in quite a lot of people. So, I guess you can cut the doctor a bit of slack for not knowing much about it, but you think they'd know a bit or do some research, I don't know.
Yeah, but also, he, like, uses not to help when, like we need something important, like documents or something. Say, like, oh, I don't know anything about the illness, I'm not gonna give you, like, a doctor's note for the school.
Oh, man. That is an absolute scumbag move right there. When there's evidence that you've got the illness and it's obvious that you've got, the tiredness problem, and he's just like, no, sorry, I don't know anything, oh, I'm not going to do you a note. That is so uncool.
Yeah, it's pretty annoying. Like, we went to a different... I used to live in Dublin, but when we were in Dublin, we were going to a different doctor that was like perfectly understanding and whatever. We not did whatever we needed, but like gave us like school notes or something if we needed them, because like he understood that it was like a real thing. Some doctors don't even believe in the illness.
What?
Apparently, Yeah, and apparently nurses are taught that it's like a psychological thing. It's
Oh,
very very physical.
I mean, is this just in Ireland or like worldwide that they're not believing in it?
I think it's just Ireland, yeah.
Oh, well, at least if you went somewhere else, they'd have more knowledge on it. I mean, it's annoying that there's doctors out there who think, oh, it's all in your head, it's all in your head, mate. Yeah, it's all in your head, you know. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's like, imagine if you got shot in the leg and you're on the floor in agony, and they're like, oh, it's just all in your head, mate. Don't worry, it's all in your head. Yep, nothing wrong with you. Goodbye. Yep. I mean, it's ridiculous, and the fact that well, what did you say that they were teaching the nurses that it's not real? They were trying to tell the nurses it's not real.
They're trying to teach like nurses and doctors as well that it's all like psychological.
Oh, that is just evil. That is just pure evil. I mean,
Yeah,
I just don't even understand how they can. Well, the thing is, a lot of nurses and doctors are pretty intelligent and passionate about their work, so hopefully they'd realise that it's a load of bollocks, that it's not real. I mean, people are just chatting a load of rubbish saying it's not real. If they've made
but
full in detail articles on the internet, and if you've got loads of professional doctors knowing what it is, then and there's evidence that people are ill, then it clearly is a real thing. So just idiots, man.
yeah, absolutely. Like there's even some I'm gonna name. There were some members at first that were like totally didn't want to even like give us the time of day to talk about it because they didn't believe us.
So they just told you to go away then.
Well, they would have just said like different things like sometimes they might say, "Oh, they just have to think themselves better," or like,
How
"Oh,
the?
it's just anxiety."
I mean, anxiety doesn't make you tired at all. If anything, anxiety gets you out, like, you know. I'm not saying this is a good thing, but you lose weight and you're more energetic and you're more like. I'm not. That isn't good energy, but like, you know, you're on edge, which makes you more energetic. So I don't see. If anything, the mental illness that will make you feel like you don't want to do anything is depression. So they've got that wrong, and but I mean, maybe anxiety wouldn't make you want to do certain things or go out if it was really, really bad. But you'd have energy. You wouldn't be lethargic physically.
Yeah, like whenever they'd come over to see us, like because of the illness, like we don't know when symptoms are gonna happen. Like we don't know if like tomorrow we'd be bedbound or something like that. So whenever they come over, we'd be well enough for them to come over because usually when we're not, we have to like reschedule a day or something. Whenever they see us, we look like perfectly fine. So like, oh, you don't look sick, kind of thing. It's also like, oh, but that's just because like, we picked a day that we're well enough to see you.
Yeah. I mean, it's just absolute ridiculousness, to be honest, that they'd try and say, oh no, you're fine just because you're fine on this day and all that jazz. I'm not trying to sound daft or anything, but say if you're like in a condition where you're bedbound, what is the most you could do if you like pushed yourself to the absolute limit?
If I'm stuck in bed, probably like play the PlayStation or something for like hours on end.
That's all
But
you can do.
yeah, but I could also go on my phone and stuff and like go on social media or YouTube or something.
Do you struggle to focus
For
on
the
the
time.
PlayStation games,
Sorry.
or do you struggle to focus on the PlayStation games, or?
Sometimes, yeah, there's like brain fog stuff going on.
Do you just like sleep all the time then, or are you just like really physically tired, or is it both?
Um, I actually have like insomnia a lot of the time.
Oh,
So it's like you'd have to take like melatonin to sleep. So sometimes I also get like registered sleep, so I get like recommended amount of sleep. But actually, like, my body wouldn't get in. Kind of, I'd just still be tired. That happens sometimes. It's kind of annoying. But yeah, it's mainly on like the more physical side, like dizziness or like there's symptoms unique to the illness where it's like lose the use of your limbs temporarily. Weird.
Oh. So,
I don't know if it's sorry. I don't know if it's unique to the illness though. But also, I probably should have mentioned before that my 3 siblings have it as well. So that's why I was saying E rather than elf or something.
yeah. So, how often does the insomnia knock you about, or is that like part of the tiredness issue?
Well, it's actually like every night I wouldn't be able to get to sleep until like 5 in the morning unless
Oh, God.
melatonin. It's like my body can't produce melatonin on its own or something, so it just has to like get it from somewhere else. I don't know.
That's a real shame. So,
And it's kind of annoying.
so, like with the, with feeling, so like, with insomnia and all that, like, does it ever go away, or are you stuck with it like every day, or?
Sometimes if I'm I think last night I didn't even have to take it because I was like that tired, but I had to get up early yesterday.
Oh.
It just depends on like what I would have done throughout the day. Like if I might just be tired because I walked around outside or something, or like did stop motion and had to stand up for it, or like that.
Yeah. I see. Well, I guess, what would your advice be for like anyone who has it, even though there isn't, there's only 1 million people in the world who have it, and there's 7 billion people. What would your advice be to like get through it?
I would say find hobbies that you can manage is important for mental health. I would say try and get a pet if you can manage to take care of it. Because they're very good for mental health as well. Like stop motion for me as well was good hobby that I can like do from home. I can manage most days too, which is like so. To me, a lot of serotonin.
Yeah. So, I remember you said when I was on your podcast, I think I was talking about like, I can't remember exactly what we were talking about. Wasn't it like something about animal abuse? And I said, I can't believe how these people treat their animals. I can't remember exactly what I said, but then you said you've got 2 dogs. So do you struggle to walk them much, or do they just run around the garden all the time and they don't need a walk, or?
They're small dogs, so if we were to walk them, like my dad or my mom might like, put them on the leads and then bring them around the corner and then back, and they'd be like for the day, kind of, because they're so small.
What sort are they?
One is unknown.
Oh, really?
The other is Cavalier King Charles crossed with a Bichon Frise.
Cavalier. I might look it up quickly. Here we go, Cavalier King Charles way. Oh, wait, what's it crossed with? The one that...
Cavachon, though.
Ah, okay. I found one, Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. That looks like a legendary dog. I don't know if that's like what you've got, but
And I can send you a picture of her now. Actually,
sound man. I know it's a bit odd to bring it up on the podcast, but I just really like dogs, man. I love I know these aren't your sort, but I love like Springer Spaniels, Labradors. They're legendary. These little terriers that sort of, I can't describe how they look. They're not like it's really hard to explain how they look. I might get a picture up if I can find them, but they're really lovely. These little terriers. But yeah, any sort of Labrador, they're my favourite by far. Springer Spaniel, I love how hyper they are. Border Collies are really cool. German Shepherds are really cool. Sausage Dogs seem like pretty funny banter. I don't like Jack Russells though. Beagles are cool. Just, yeah, all of them, really. Great Danes seem like decent banter, but they are massive. Oh, those dogs look like legends, man. They're sick. Is it right if I put a picture of them in the podcast or not?
Sure, yeah, I don't mind.
So, which is the which is the unknown one then? The one on the top, the first one.
The second one, yeah, the silvery kind of one. We think it's supposed to be part poodle. Like when we were going to Collector, we think it's a puppy farm now. Looking back, like they wouldn't give us an address. They were like, "Oh, just hello, this and this and this," and then yeah, a lot of puppy farms would do that where they like just give like directions rather than an address, so that you can't like report them to the police or thing. But and when we got there, there's a picture on like the ad online of what the dog was supposed to look like, and then we ended up getting a completely different dog, what we thought we were going to get. But like I don't mind now. Like I'm glad we kept her. But looking back, I was like, it's not the dog you ordered, kind of.
Yeah. I mean, thing is, there are some people out there who just like don't like animals at all, which is a bit annoying though, and like will do harm to them. And I'm fine with people like not being bothered, but I don't get how people like can't like animals. You know, it's a bit weird. And the way those people sold that dog to you seems very dodgy, like not wanting not letting you have their details or any of that sort of stuff, and not telling you what the dog breed is. It makes you think there might be something wrong with the dog. But, like, obviously, I don't know how old the dog is, but I'm assuming you've had her for a while. So...
years now, yeah.
So she was probably fine. They're probably, I don't know, maybe they were just a bit protective and paranoid of stuff, I don't know. The people who were giving it away. Who knows?
Yeah, but, they're saying she's meant to be, like, part miniature poodle, part Lear King Charles. She was meant to look a bit like the other dog that we have already, because she's, like, a bit cavalier herself. So we got her. She looked neither of them.
Oh, okay.
But now she kind of has like a poodle coat thing, and we think she's part like Cairn Terrier or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but terriers. The thing about them is like they're kind of snappy sometimes, so they might like bite, but she doesn't bite anymore, but she used to bite a lot.
No, it depends how you train them, really.
She also picked up the calm behaviour from the older dog that we have.
Oh, cool. I know this is a bit daft, but like, have any of your dogs accidentally wrecked like your brick film set, or?
No, but when we had cats, they would have done that a lot.
Oh, so they would have probably jumped onto the desk and then like just wrecked everything.
Yeah, like you know the rooftop that I use for different videos that I'm using, and I used at the start of the Batman video that I sent you.
Oh yeah.
I built a different version of it at first. I was like ready to start filming, and then went downstairs to get like something to eat, and I came back and my brother was like, "But the cat's knocked your whole screen down and it fell on top of your set." I had to rebuild it.
Oh, that is gutting, mate.
But the way I built it before, like I saw a picture of it recently and thinking like, "Oh, that looks terrible." Like it doesn't even look like a rooftop. It's just like a form. It kind of worked out for the best.
Yeah.
I think the cats kind of knew that and gave me having a bad looking set.
Yeah. I was going to ask though, do you get a lot of stuff off Bricklink then for like parts for sets, or do you just buy like Lego sets normally and just use parts from those sets, or build their actual sets and put them in your brick films, or?
I don't really like if I get a set, I just build the set and then put it in like my box of built sets or something, or I keep it out and use it in a video if I'm planning to. Cause, yeah, but it's mainly like the figures I look for in the sets, and then they're like cool to leave built. But my brother likes to take his sets apart, so builds most of the sets that I use for videos anyway. So he uses the different parts, but also we have like a massive collection of different random pieces of Lego in like a massive drawer. Where we recently got shelves to sort through all of that, so that we can like put the specific parts into specific drawers and things, and then have them all sorted. But it's just kind of like a massive collection that we've been building up for the past like 10 years or more.
Pretty cool. So you could build like a good background then for the brick films quite easily, as you've been collecting for 10 years.
I probably couldn't because I can't really build things very well, but my brother probably could.
Out of interest then, because I know you've said to me before like that your brother's, are pretty good at building like background sets and all that. Is he anywhere near Professor Goat's level, or?
Um, I don't really know because I've kind of only seen one of Professor Guy's builds.
I mean, I guess the professor is just next level, isn't he, man? I just don't. He does seem like quite an intelligent bloke when you hear him talk, but like to be able to build some of the stuff he builds like better than actual people who work at Lego. Like I swear, one of his builds was like 8 foot tall or something ridiculous. It's like, how did he pull this off? What an utter legend!
It's crazy.
Yeah, and he seems like so chilled out about it. He's like, yeah, I did this, yeah, cool stuff in it, yeah. Do you watch much Club Brick stuff as you've had two of them on, as you've had King John Brick and Professor Goat?
I watch their stuff still. It's interesting. Like, I think I talked about it on a podcast a little while ago with Professor Goat, but there's one video they did that was like super interesting, where they talked about the different like types of plastics that Lego figures have, what affects the quality and stuff, and what figures to look for, stuff like that. I thought it was really interesting.
What sort of figures did they say were the best then?
It's like one of the plastics is better than the other because of like the I think it's like the printing one. I can't really remember, but remember I was very interested in it. Like the I think it was like the type of plastic a slightly different color than the other one, and then they're kind of like faded colors compared to the other plastic, and like the printing isn't as good or something. Like the printing would stay on another type of plastic longer than the other or something.
Okay, so did they only change this for like a certain amount of sets, or did it just suddenly happen one year and they were like, all right, the year's 2008, now let's improve everything?
Not really sure. I think it was just like they just have different like there was one figure that came out the same year as like another like the same figure with the other plastic, unless it's like a knockoff. Yeah, it was actually like the plastic that Lego uses versus the plastic that like a knockoff brand might use.
Okay.
And like the difference in quality, you can tell that it's like official Lego. Remember?
Yeah. Well, I mean, knockoff brands are just a bit of a piss take, really. Like, I don't see why they can't make their own stuff. I know Lego like has an insane amount of genres, and they might want to rip off that and capitalise on that. But I mean, if you're gonna rip it off, at least don't do it on the cheap and actually make good plastics. And you shouldn't rip it off anyway. You should try and make your own things, you know. Do you have you ever collected many knockoff brands then, or for a laugh, or are you not bothered?
Not really, but I like there was a festival in my town that I live in now. This time last year, I think it was August. Like one of the stalls had like all kinds of different Lego figures from like any Marvel or DC thing. I thought like, oh, this is really cool. Like, be really interesting to see what kind of figures I could get here. A really rare opportunity to get like Ghost Rider or like Mr. Fantastic or something.
Yeah.
So I walked up and I got like 20.
Oh.
Then got them back to the house and showed my brother, and he thought it was pretty cool as well. As far as I remember, anyway. And then like took the figures apart to make sure they were like proper Lego. A lot of them not. but it still kind of worked out for the best because I still got like really cool figures that I wouldn't have been able to get in Lego sets or anything.
Yeah. What's the rarest minifigures you've got then?
I'm not really sure. I think we have an Ahsoka figure, which brother was saying to find.
Sorry about that technical difficulties for a second. So I was going to ask, what do you think of the latest Lego Star Wars sets?
Yeah, they look pretty cool. But apparently, like the stud shooters or something like that didn't work very well.
Oh, didn't they?
501st, I think it was the battle pack.
Oh. I didn't realise. Bloody hell. Well, I mean, people aren't really bothered about the stud shooters, but I suppose for some people playability is important, and if the stud shooters aren't working, that's a little bit appalling, really.
Yeah, especially since it's like a super popular set for an unknown reason.
Yeah. I mean, it's because they've never done any, like, 501st, Blue 501st Episode 3 Troopers like that before. They've done Clone Wars ones, but not, like, proper Revenge of the Sith ones, And people always really wanted them, because when they did them back in 2005, 6, 7, and they brought one out in 2011, all the Episode 3 Clone Troopers were nothing like Blue or anything. They just looked how they did from the Lego Star Wars game. They didn't look like how they're doing the real films.
Okay. I wasn't sure. To me, it just looked like a normal Star Wars set.
Yeah, fair enough.
Was kind of like losing their minds over.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty happy about it, to be fair, because until because me and my family went to Cardiff, and there's a Lego store in Cardiff, and I hadn't bought any Lego since 2014, and then before 2014, I hadn't bought anything since like 2012. I think I bought a few sets in 2014, but I was regularly collecting Lego from 2007 to 2012. So I bought quite a few sets to sell in the future, but I actually bought Luke's Land Speeder and a 501st. I bought 3 501st battle packs, 2 to sell and 1 to build myself, because I've always wanted them Episode 3 proper Clone Troopers. And but the set itself is alright, yeah, it's pretty decent. I mean, I know it's a battle pack and all that, but battle packs usually cost a lot less. But I suppose as you get a walker and a speeder, I guess they're gonna cost more. It's just weird that the walker, it's not really like realistic. It's way bigger than the clone trooper actually is, which is quite funny. I know the walkers are obviously bigger than clone troopers, but like this walker, it's like massive. So there was another set. What was it now? Oh no, I was going to ask what do you think of the UCS Mos Eisley set?
I don't think I've seen it.
Oh, okay, it's that big, like, massive one. Like, they made the whole bar and everything. It's absolutely humongous. It's like $350.
Yeah, I actually did hear that. I just wasn't sure what it was called. Sorry. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. Fortunately, it is too expensive for me to get, but
yeah, it costs a crap ton.
Yeah, but the bar looks really cool as well.
Yeah, it looks amazing, man. It's absolutely class.
Yeah.
I was going to also ask though, what do you think of like people who are army building, like who buy like 1 million battle packs just to get an army of the same trooper, not for a brick film, just for the look? just for the sake of it?
But before I didn't know why people were buying all the sets like in bulk. But I think that was actually why, because I think we were talking about it before. I wasn't sure why, but I thought he was just like buying the sets just because he would. But I think he was like getting all the figures from it. But yeah, like if people want to do that, that's fine. Just unfortunate when other people go to buy it and then they can't, because all the sets are gone. There's this one person buying it.
Yeah, I mean, personally, bro, I think it's a little bit odd to be buying like 50 sets of the 50 like battle packs, and as you said, if people can't get them, because this actually leads really nicely into Aggro Aaron. So I've got a good Aggro Aaron, right? This YouTuber, I'm not going to name names, he's fairly famous, but he was complaining about people who are scalping, buying a set and selling them for a small profit. And while I don't agree with it, it's because of people like that YouTuber who was complaining about scalping. It's because of him going in and buying loads and loads and loads of sets. And people can try and say, oh, I'm buying them from 50 different shops and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, good for you, mate, but come on. You know, you're still buying 50 sets. It might be from 50 different shops, but like they could be running low on them. You know, it's ridiculous. It's better than buying it all from one shop, though, to be fair. But I just think it's ridiculous to have a ridiculous amount of sets. I mean, I guess it is their job to show off an army, but who really cares, to be honest? I guess it's quite cool, but I prefer it when, like, a YouTuber says, I'm trying to build an army. Can you send me all the figures in? Send me some, or I'll buy some figures off you. I feel like that makes a lot more sense than buying 50 packs so no one else can buy anything. It just gets on my nerves, and you know what? They can do what they want, fair enough, but then don't complain about scalpers when the only reason people buy off scalpers is because of you buying, like, 50 sets. But that's just my opinion. That's my aggro, Aaron.
Yeah, I totally get that. Like, very hypocritical to say, like, person can't do this thing, but it's okay when I do it because I'm the exception.
Yeah. Just to explain quickly, aggro Aaron is like when you talk about something that annoys you. Don't make it too political or too personal. But have you got an aggro Aaron? Are you any type of thing that annoys you, as long as it's not too personal or political or any of that jazz?
I don't think so.
Fair enough, bro. But yeah, another question I was going to ask: what would you do if tomorrow they just ended making Lego? Would you continue buying stuff? Would you continue making brick films, or would you be like, oh, what's the point if they're never going to release anything new?
I'd probably try and milk brick film, like try and make as many brick films as I could while it was still before like all the sets were sold out or something. Yeah, I'd try and get like sets from a shop or something, and then use those to make a video of that as well.
Yeah, that's fair game. I mean, the thing is, Lego hasn't it been around since like 1939 or something ridiculous? Oh no, 1932, I think. And they're really successful. So they'd stop making Lego, I reckon. Obviously, if the company went bust and no one bought it, or if they were slowly being unsuccessful for ages and ages and ages and ages, and then, but I guess that happens with any business. But Lego, everyone's buying it and talking about it and making careers out of it on YouTube, brick filming, reviewing it, talking about it, all that jazz. So I doubt that it would go out of business, but you never know.
Yeah, they could be like secretly in debt.
Yeah, exactly. Or they could be, or the owner could just sell it off to someone, and that person could absolutely ruin it. You never know. Or that company could ruin it. You just never know. I can't really think of any more questions. I've come a bit unprepared for this one, sadly. Have you got anything you want to talk about, bro?
Nothing that I think of now, but I'll probably like end up thinking of something later.
Fair enough, man. Have you got any final messages then before I end the podcast?
Really? No, just if people enjoy Go podcasts, you could check out my podcast as well. Nothing but bricks. Yeah, that's all. Thanks for being on the podcast.
No worries, bro. Yeah, everyone, go and check out the Meh Enthusiast channel. Check out the Nothing But Bricks podcast. I'd recommend watching the one with Professor Goat, watching the one with King John Brick, and the one with Mind Game. The rest of them are alright, don't get me wrong. But those three, in my opinion, are the best. You can watch the two that I've been on if you want. I think they're decent. But the best are those three: Mind Game, Professor Goat, and King John Brick, in my opinion. And the others are alright. But yeah, thanks for watching, everyone, and see you.